These 4 habits are silently shortening your life. Stop today.
Do you ever wake up in the morning, sit on the edge of your bed, and wonder why everything just feels a little slower than it used to? Not painful, necessarily just slower. The kind of slow that makes you pause before standing, think twice before bending down, or forget why you walked into a room in the first place. You're not alone. And if any of that sounds familiar, I want you to know something important. There's nothing wrong with you. But there are a few things we tend to do or keep doing after 60 that quietly wear us down without us even realizing it. And today, we're going to talk about exactly that. Make your evenings quieter. Dim the lights. Stop eating heavy foods late. No caffeine after mid-afternoon. Try calming teas or gentle music. Think of your bedtime routine not as a chore, but as a gift, a little ceremony you do for yourself every single night. That doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending something never hurt you. It means letting go of its grip on your present life. Write a letter you'll never send. Talk to someone you trust. Cry if you need to. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's an act of courage. And sometimes the person you need to forgive most is yourself. Your brain will thank you. So will your heart. I know, exercise isn't everyone's favorite word, especially when your knees ache or your back feels stiff in the morning. But movement doesn't mean forcing yourself into a gym or doing high-impact workouts. It means honoring your body by using it in gentle, regular ways. And the more you move, the more you feel like moving, energy builds, confidence grows, and you start to trust yourself more, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. And better, and emotional clutter takes up space where peace could be. What starts as taking it easy can quietly become sitting for hours every day. And that's where the danger lies. Because when your muscles don't get used, they start to shrink. Your balance weakens. Your blood sugar rises. Your circulation slows. The body starts forgetting how to be strong, and that opens the door to falls, fatigue, and dependence. Not just how to live longer, but how to live better. You just need consistent movement. Walk around the house every hour. Stretch your arms and legs before bed. Do light chores or gentle yoga. Even standing up and sitting down from a chair a few extra times a day makes a difference. Your body is not asking you to become an athlete. It's simply asking you not to forget it. After 60, life should feel lighter. But for many of us, it doesn't. We carry invisible weights, old regrets, difficult relationships, guilt over choices we can't go back and change. And we tell ourselves, it's too late to fix that. Or, what's the point in talking about it now? Because the truth is, longevity isn't just about counting birthdays. It affects your sleep, your digestion, your immune system. Chronic stress, even the kind we don't talk about, can be just as damaging to your longevity as smoking or poor diet. It's about the quality of your days, the clarity of your mind, the strength in your step, the peace in your heart. Your body softens, your sleep improves, your thoughts become kinder, you laugh a little more easily, the weight on your shoulders begins to lift, and you realize just how much energy you were using just to hold it all in. And sometimes, the key to a better life isn't doing more. It's knowing what to stop. In this conversation, we're going to gently uncover for things you might still be doing after 60 that could be quietly robbing you of energy, health, and even years of life. This isn't about blame. It's not about fear. It's about awareness. But most people over 60 are walking around in a kind of permanent sleep debt, and they don't even know it. We've all been told that older adults don't need as much sleep, but that's not really true. What changes is our ability to get that sleep. We may wake up more during the night or find it harder to fall asleep again. But instead of making sleep a priority, we shrug it off, maybe stay up later watching TV or scroll on our phones because we can't fall asleep anyway. About giving yourself permission to let go of the things that no longer serve you and opening the door to habits that truly support the years ahead. Let's begin with one of the most overlooked habits, ignoring sleep. I know it sounds simple. Here's the danger in that. When you're not sleeping deeply and consistently, your body doesn't get the chance to repair. Your brain doesn't get time to sort, file, and refresh. Over time, this leads to slower thinking, higher blood pressure, poor balance, mood swings, and yes, even a higher risk of early death. The worst part, you might not even notice how tired you really are because it's become your normal. So what can you do? Start treating sleep like medicine, because that's what it is. Now, let's talk about something a bit heavier but just as important: holding on to stress and resentment. But here's the truth: emotional stress doesn't quietly fade away with age. If anything, it digs in deeper. It raises your cortisol levels. If you've been carrying something, an old grudge, a wound, a silence, it might be time to release it. Think of it this way: every year of life you hope to gain should be filled with light, not weight. What is powerful is that once you begin to address the hidden stress you've held onto, once you open the door, you start to notice changes everywhere. You deserve peace, not in the future, now. And that brings us to the third thing we often do after 60, sometimes without meaning to. That works directly against our desire to stay healthy: neglecting physical movement. The problem is, many people slow down after retirement and then they never really pick back up again. But here's the good news: you don't need intense exercise to stay strong, because your body loves to move. It's designed for it. And as you begin to reconnect with your body, your spirit follows. Now that we've begun to uncover these important habits, things that often go unnoticed but have a major impact, it is time to look even closer at what else might be holding us back from truly living longer. There is something powerful that happens when we start paying attention, really paying attention, to the small choices we make each day, the foods we reach for, the thoughts we hold on to, the way we treat our bodies and minds. These things seem so ordinary, so forgettable in the moment, but over time, they shape everything: your mood, your health, your future. And now that we've talked about sleep, emotional weight, and movement, there is one more habit we need to bring into the light, perhaps the most stubborn of them all. It's the one that hides behind phrases like "I've earned the right" or "I'm too old to change now." And it's this: believing your best years are behind you. Let's pause here, because this one runs deep. After 60, it's easy to fall into a quiet kind of resignation. Society whispers to us that we've peaked, that we're slowing down, that our job now is simply to stay out of the way and age gracefully. But what does that even mean? Sit still, stay quiet, still time to start something, still life waiting to be lived. It can start small: a new recipe, a new walking path, a new conversation with someone who lifts your spirit. When you stop believing in your own potential, your body listens. It slows down. It follows your lead. But when you start believing again, when you see possibility instead of limitation, your whole being shifts to match that energy. Even the decision to wake up tomorrow and say, "Today I will act like my best years are still ahead of me," that is enough to begin. One that's rooted in experience, in wisdom, and presence. And yet so many people over 60 begin to disengage, not just physically, but emotionally and socially. When I asked him why he chose the cello, he smiled and said, "Because I love the sound of it. Not just in your heartbeat, but in your spirit. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be willing. When you disconnect from joy, you disconnect from motivation. Not with dread, but with intention. You don't need to know exactly what the day will bring. You just need to believe that it still matters. Your energy might dip. Your memory might not be quite as sharp, but none of that takes away your value. It's just a thought. None of that erases your ability to live a meaningful, full, connected life. The only thing that can take that away is the belief that you've already lived your best days. And without motivation, even the most well-meaning advice, eat better, sleep more, move more, feels like a chore. That is why it is so important to stop thinking of this stage of life as a slow decline. But there is still one more area we haven't touched yet. One more pattern that tends to sneak in as we age, often disguised as comfort, but carrying real risk to both our bodies and minds. And start thinking of it as a new chapter, one with freedom, choice, and clarity. Ask yourself what belief has been sitting in the background of your mind, quietly telling you that part of you is over, and I want to leave this world making beautiful noise. That image has stayed with me ever since. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He wasn't chasing youth. He was just choosing joy. When you believe your life still has purpose, your brain stays more active, your immune system stays stronger, and you're far more likely to recover from illness or injury. But when you stop seeing the future as an opportunity, when you see yourself as someone winding down instead of growing up, you slowly disconnect from the very things that keep you alive. They stop setting goals. They stop trying new things. They stop expecting more from life. Shrink into the background. Let me tell you something. Aging gracefully doesn't mean disappearing. It means stepping into a new kind of strength. And when the mindset settles in, something in the body begins to shut down too. Studies have shown over and over again that your attitude toward aging can directly influence how long and how well you live. You were not born to fade. You were born to shine, to evolve, to keep becoming. It doesn't matter if you're 60 or 90. There is still room to change. And you don't need a bucket list or a dramatic reinvention to feel that spark again. Because here is the truth most people miss. Longevity is as much about attitude as it is about biology. There's a man I met years ago, in his mid-70s, who decided to learn to play the cello. He had never played an instrument in his life. That's what staying alive really means. So if there's something you stopped doing, writing, painting, dancing, gardening, laughing, calling an old friend, ask yourself why. And then gently, but firmly, let the belief go. You don't have to be fast. You're not too late. You're right on time. And while we're talking about mindset, let's not forget how deeply your mental and emotional habits affect your physical health. Imagine this, waking up not with a sigh, but with curiosity. And yes, some things are harder now. Your knees might ache, and that belief, you can let it go and replace it with one that serves you better. One that says, I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I still matter, because you do. And the more you live from that truth, the more you speak it, breathe it, act from it, the longer and more vibrant your life will become. We've explored some big shifts already: sleep, stress, movement, and now this quiet but powerful mental trap of thinking you're done growing. Let's open that door together and take one more step toward a longer, stronger life. Sometimes the most dangerous habits are the ones that feel the safest. They're not loud or dramatic. They don't come with flashing warning signs or sudden symptoms. In fact, they often look a lot like comfort. But beneath the surface, they slowly chip away at your health, your confidence, and your quality of life. And one of the most powerful of those habits, spending too much time sitting still. Now, I'm not just talking about watching TV, though for many people, that's a big part of it. I'm talking about the slow, silent routine of hours passing by while we're sitting. Stillness, day after day, slowly drains it. On the couch, at the kitchen table, in the car, your circulation slows down, which can raise your risk of heart disease. Because when you start moving more, you start feeling more. Often, the longer we stay still, the harder it feels to start moving again. And that makes sense. When your muscles aren't being used, they tighten. A few gentle arm circles. Sit on the edge of the bed and stretch your legs. The key is to start, because once you start, your body remembers. It remembers how to move, how to balance, how to carry you through the day with strength instead of struggle. When your joints aren't moved regularly, they stiffen. So that first step, it's uncomfortable, maybe even painful, but it's also the most important one. More awake, more grounded, more confident, and you begin to break the cycle of sluggishness that keeps so many people over 60 stuck in their chairs. I want to remind you, your body is incredibly forgiving. The day you say, I won't let stillness define my later years. I will move not to look a certain way, but to live a certain way. It responds quickly to even small efforts. Within a week of moving more regularly, many people feel a difference in their energy, in their sleep, in their posture. Within a month, strength and stability begin to return. And before you know it, something amazing happens. You trust your body again. It's a signal to your cells that you're alive, engaged, and ready to function at your best. Your digestion becomes sluggish, which can lead to bloating, discomfort, and poor nutrient absorption. The more you move, the more energy you'll have. It may seem backwards, but it's true. Movement creates energy. It boosts circulation, wakes up your brain, and improves your mood. To dress. And while no one can guarantee perfect health forever, staying active is the single most effective way to maintain your independence for as long as possible. To say, every day, I will move today because I want to keep living fully and freely, and expect everything to be fine. The same goes for your muscles, your balance, your flexibility. These things don't stay sharp on their own. They need practice. And the beauty of it, your body doesn't expect perfection. It just wants participation. You might even find that aches and pains become more manageable, not worse, because you're no longer stiff and stuck. Your muscles weaken from disuse, which leads to poor balance and greater risk of falls. Even your brain becomes less alert when your body isn't moving. In bed, at a certain point, especially after retirement, movement starts to shrink. Our world gets smaller. The number of steps we take in a day goes down, and we tell ourselves, I'm just taking it easy, or I'm not as active as I used to be, and that's okay. And yes, rest matters. Of course it does. But there's a big difference between resting and stopping. Rest restores your body. What many people don't realize is that sitting for long stretches of time without regular breaks to move affects nearly every major system in the body. You see, movement isn't just something your body does, it's something your body needs. Like oxygen, like water. And you don't need to go run a marathon. You don't even need to go to the gym. What your body wants is consistency, gentle, regular, intentional movement throughout your day. A short walk after meals, standing up and stretching every hour, doing a few heel raises while you're brushing your teeth, reaching for something on a high shelf, just to remind your joints they can still stretch and move. Every little movement sends a message. I'm still here. I'm still capable. I'm still in this body. And with that, something shifts not just physically, but mentally. But here's the tricky part. That discomfort is not a sign to stop. It's a sign that your body is waking up. And you can go at your own pace. Start with just 5 minutes of movement, a walk around the house. And the best part, and this matters not just for your body, but for your independence. Because one of the biggest fears many people have as they age is losing their ability to care for themselves, needing help to stand out to walk. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present in your own body. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't skip it for a weekend if you're feeling discouraged, like it's too late to start being more active. So let this be the day you draw a line in the sand, because you deserve that. Not a life of fear or frailty, but one filled with presence, power, and possibility. You've already started by paying attention. Now, imagine what else could change, what else could open if you took one more step. Let's keep walking together. There is a quiet kind of transformation that begins the moment you decide you are no longer going to coast through life on autopilot when you stop accepting aches, forgetfulness, low energy, or loneliness is just part of getting older, and instead start asking, what can I change? Or losing belief in our own future. It is time to talk about a pattern that might seem harmless on the surface but can be deeply harmful over time. What can I let go of to feel more alive again? And now that we've uncovered some of the deeper habits that sneak into our lives, like staying still for too long, it's something many people fall into without even realizing, and that is isolating yourself from others. Now, before we go any further, let me say this: there's nothing wrong with enjoying solitude. In fact, quiet time can be healing. Human beings at every age need to feel seen, heard, and valued. You may feel foggier, you may notice your mood dipping, your memory, strangely, may begin to fade faster. Real, heartfelt connection, even with one or two people. They tell your brain, I'm still part of something. I'm still needed. I'm still alive in the world. Volunteering, even just one day a month, being around others, even quietly, can give you energy and purpose. And purpose, as studies have shown, is a key predictor of longer life and better health. A phone call, a chat with a neighbor, joining a book club, or even just waving to someone you see on your morning walk from loss, from grief. Maybe you've lost a spouse, a sibling, a friend. Maybe your children live far away. One day, while out grocery shopping, the cashier complimented his shirt. Just a few words, but it sparked something in him. He smiled. He replied. And in that moment, he realized, I missed this. That week, he signed up for a local gardening class, even though he'd never gardened before. He met people there who became dear friends, fully in it, not just surviving, but connecting, laughing, sharing stories, holding hands with the moment and saying, I belong. His life didn't go back to how it was, but it started moving forward again. But don't let it convince you that your story is over. You're still here. You're still breathing. And the world still has people in it who would be lucky to know you. And the loneliness doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like something life pushed onto you, even if it's been years. Even if it feels awkward at first. So many people are waiting for someone to break the silence. Your presence matters. And there are people out there who need exactly the kind of wisdom, kindness, and laughter that only you can give. You might be surprised how many would be glad to hear your voice. And saying, beautiful morning, isn't it? That's not just coincidence. It's your brain reacting to a lack of connection. When we withdraw, even if we think we're protecting ourselves from stress or disappointment, we start to lose something vital. We lose stimulation. We lose joy. We lose the emotional nutrients that come from simply being with others. After years of working, raising families, and giving to others, it's natural to want a bit of peace. But isolation and solitude are not the same thing. One is chosen. The other creeps in slowly until you are no longer sure when you last had a truly meaningful conversation. You see, loneliness in older adults is not just sad, it's dangerous. Researchers have found that chronic loneliness can increase the risk of dementia, heart disease, stroke, depression, and even early death. In fact, the impact of social isolation on health is said to be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Think about that. An invitation you turn down because it feels like too much effort. The friends who used to be close drifting away as their lives change. The world slowly gets quieter until, one day, you realize it's been days since you spoke out loud to someone who truly knows you. The reason this happens is because we're wired for connection. And it often starts small. A missed phone call you forget to return. And when that silence stretches on, your mind starts to suffer. But here's the hopeful part. The solution doesn't require a huge social circle or endless social events. It just requires connection. Those small moments of shared humanity, they matter. They wake something up inside you. And if you've lost touch with people who used to be close family, old friends, it's okay to reach out. And if you feel like you truly have no one, start small. Try something new in your community. A walking group, a class at the library. But let's also acknowledge the emotional side of this. Sometimes, isolation doesn't come from preference, it comes from pain. If that's where you are right now, I want to say this gently. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to feel the sadness. Sometimes, all it takes is one connection to bring the color back into your life. A man I spoke with once told me that at 68, after his wife passed away, he went 3 weeks without really talking to anyone. It's never too late to reach out. It's never too late to find someone who says, I'm glad you're here. And it's never too late to be that person for someone else. So if you've been isolating not out of choice, but out of habit or pain, let this be your reminder that life still wants you in it. Your voice matters. Let's keep that heart open. Just a little wider. Let's keep stepping forward together. There's something quietly magical about deciding to show up for your life again. It doesn't always start with a bold leap. Sometimes it begins with a whisper, a walk outside, a warm cup of tea shared with someone you trust, a conversation that reminds you you're still needed, still valuable, still very much alive. It's subtle, sneaky, and incredibly damaging over time. And as we continue peeling back the layers of what we need to let go of after 60, let's take a deeper look at something that touches almost all of us, but few people talk about directly. It's the habit of ignoring your inner voice, especially when it comes to your health. And it makes sense. Maybe you don't want to be seen as a burden. And after 60, listening to it isn't just helpful, it's essential. Maybe you've had experiences in the past where doctors didn't listen or brushed you off. Or maybe you're simply tired of all the appointments, the waiting rooms, the tests. You'd stop everything to help them, wouldn't you? You'd say, your health matters. You matter. A shift in energy that just doesn't feel right, but you shrug it off. It's probably nothing. I'll wait and see. It's just part of getting older. You know what I mean. That quiet tug in the back of your mind when something feels off. A weird pain that lingers. The way certain foods make you feel. Whether you're getting out of breath more easily. If your digestion isn't working like it used to. You are allowed to ask questions, to follow up, to get second opinions. You are not a burden. You are a human being who deserves to feel well and thrive. But you can't solve what you don't acknowledge. If you're waking up feeling exhausted even after a full night's sleep, there are doctors, nurses, and caregivers out there who will listen, more withdrawn. Maybe old memories are coming up that you don't know what to do with. These things matter. They impact your sleep, your energy. A therapist, not something you put off or ignore or deal with later, but something you nurture every day in small ways. A support group, even a friend who truly sees you. Not because you're weak, but because healing happens faster when it's shared. Don't disappear from your own care, your immune system, even your heart. Don't give up on your health just because the first door didn't open. Knock again. Try another path. You're worth the effort, through honesty, through conversation. I want you to stop right there. Health isn't a competition. Your pain doesn't have to reach a certain level to be taken seriously. In fact, you're right on time. Ask, how am I feeling? Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, energetically. And if the answer is anything less than well, listen to what your body needs, and with open eyes. More rest, less sugar, a walk in the sun, a deep breath, a call to your doctor. You don't have to be on the floor to deserve care. Others who dismiss swelling in their legs, only to discover later it was a circulation issue that could have been managed early. And the most heartbreaking part is, they knew something was wrong, they just didn't want to make a fuss. That habit, the one where you downplay your symptoms, delay doctor visits, or convince yourself not to bother anyone, is something many people carry, especially as they age. And the great thing is, you already have the most powerful tool, awareness. You've lived in this body for decades. You know when something isn't quite right. Trust that. Speak up. Be your own advocate. But here's the thing. Your body is talking to you for a reason, and prevention at this stage of life is everything. Because when we ignore early signs, small but persistent pain, unexplained fatigue, slight changes in mood or memory, we miss the chance to prevent something bigger. I've known people who waited months to mention chest discomfort only to find themselves in the emergency room. But let me ask you, if your grandchild told you they didn't want to bother anyone with their pain, what would you say? So why not offer yourself the same care? Ignoring your health doesn't make you strong. Listening to your body and taking action, that's where real strength lives. And it's not just about big, scary symptoms either. It's about the small stuff too. All of these are messages, clues, opportunities to check in, adjust, and give your body the support it needs. It might be something as simple as needing more water, or better sleep, or a change in medication. So let this be your reminder. You are allowed to take up space in the healthcare system. And if you're the kind of person who tends to downplay things because other people have it worse, you deserve it now. Because the sooner we catch things, the better the outcome. That's the gift of being proactive. And if you don't feel heard, keep talking until someone listens. This also goes for your emotional health. Maybe you've been feeling more anxious lately, and emotional pain doesn't go away by pretending it's not there. It heals through attention. So if there's something you've been carrying alone, maybe it's time to talk to someone. What I want more than anything is for you to start treating your health like something sacred. Check in with yourself, then do the thing. Do it today. Because life doesn't ask us to be perfect, it just asks us to pay attention. You've come this far with wisdom in your bones and strength in your story. Don't stop now. You're not too old to improve your health. You're not too late to feel better. So let's keep listening. Let's keep choosing. Let's keep showing up for this life fully, bravely. Sometimes, the most powerful change doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing less. Less ignoring what your body is saying. Less hiding from people who care about you. But there is one final habit we need to bring into the light, one that doesn't get discussed nearly enough, especially in older generations. It's this: less sitting in silence, waiting for life to happen. And perhaps most of all, less holding on to habits that quietly steal your energy and shorten your future. It's not worse. It's just different. Your digestion is different. Your metabolism is different. Your needs are different. But for many of us, our eating habits haven't caught up with that reality. By now, we've talked about staying mentally engaged, emotionally connected, physically active, and taking your health seriously. Stop feeding your body like you're still 30. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but stay with me here. You might think, but I don't eat candy. Sure, but check the labels on your bread, your sauces, your flavored yogurts. Simple, nourishing, and powerful. Sugar hides everywhere. Your body at 60, 70, even 80 is not the same body you had decades ago, and that's okay. It's about welcoming in the good ones, the ones that keep your mind sharp, your gut happy, and your muscles strong. So don't wait until you're thirsty. Make sipping water part of your rhythm throughout the day. Your body will thank you. Fuel that supports your brain, your bones, your energy, your mood. We eat what we're used to, what's convenient, what we grew up believing was normal. Try one new healthy recipe a week, or even just swap out one item for something a little better. Food that doesn't fight your body, but works with it, helps it heal, helps it function. Every better choice gives your body a little more energy, a little more strength, a little more time. White bread for whole grain, sugary yogurt for plain with honey, fried snacks for a handful of nuts or apple slices. You just need to ask each time you eat, is this food helping me or hurting me? And while some of it might still be okay, a lot of it no longer serves us, especially if we're serious about living longer, living better, and staying independent. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to follow every trend or be perfect. You just have to care. Enough to pay attention. Enough to say, I want to feel good today and tomorrow, and the day after that. So what kind of eating habits are quietly working against you? And ask yourself, gently, is this supporting the kind of life I want to live? Let's start with processed foods. They're everywhere, and they're designed, literally engineered to be addictive. And don't forget hydration itself. Many older adults live in a state of mild dehydration without even realizing it, simply because our thirst signals become weaker with age. Chips, pastries, sugary cereals, microwave meals, soda, even some packaged health bars. Your pancreas doesn't process sugar the way it used to. Your gut becomes more sensitive. Your risk of inflammation increases, and suddenly, that innocent-looking morning muffin or can of soup is contributing to joint pain, poor sleep, or foggy thinking. These foods are often loaded with preservatives, artificial ingredients, and hidden sugars that can throw your entire system out of balance. The problem is, the older we get, the harder it becomes for our bodies to bounce back from poor nutrition. And sugar, especially added sugar, is one of the sneakiest culprits. It's linked to everything from heart disease to memory decline. Now, I'm not saying you can't enjoy food. In fact, food should be a joy. But it should also be fuel. Imagine starting your morning not with a quick, sugary snack, but with something that actually supports your body, like a protein-rich breakfast, a handful of berries, or a small bowl of oats with nuts and seeds. Because what you eat truly does shape how you feel hour by hour, day by day. And it's not just about avoiding bad foods. Think colorful vegetables, healthy fats like olive oil and avocado, omega-3 rich fish like salmon or sardines, hydrating fruits like watermelon and cucumber. Water doesn't just keep your body cool, It helps your brain function, your joints move, your digestion run smoothly. And if you're someone who's used to eating the same meals day after day, maybe it's time to switch things up. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight, but every small change adds up, because food isn't just about staying full. It's about staying well. And here's the truth that a lot of people miss. The older you get, the more your body craves simplicity. Clean, whole, nourishing food. Now, you may be thinking, but I've been eating this way for years. Is it really going to make a difference now? Absolutely. Studies show that even after 60, even after 70, dietary changes can dramatically reduce your risk of disease, improve your memory, support better sleep, and help you feel younger, more alert, and more alive. It's never too late to feed yourself with love. You don't need to follow a strict diet. You don't need to count every calorie. And if it's hurting even a little, you have the power to choose something else. That's the beautiful thing about this stage of life. So take a moment and think about what's in your kitchen, what you reach for most often. And if the answer is no, that's okay. It just means it's time for a shift, a small one, a loving one. Because the food you eat is one of the most powerful tools you have to protect your health, your independence, and your future. Let's use it well. It's a powerful thing, realizing that your future is still in your hands even now. Maybe especially now, with every choice, you're sending a message to your body, to your mind, to your life. I'm not done yet. I still have days to live, people to love, moments to enjoy, and I'm going to meet those moments as fully as I can. Sometimes those patterns are comforting, familiar. Sometimes we hold onto them because we're scared of what life will look like without them. Or we think, I've been doing this for decades. It's too late to change now. And really, that's what this video has been about. To being active in how you experience it. Not fear, not guilt, but freedom. The freedom to step away from habits that hold you back and toward the kind of life that feels more energizing, more meaningful, more you. To say, I want to feel better. I want to be here longer. Of saying, I want to give myself the best shot at a joyful, independent, meaningful life no matter what age is on the calendar. I want to enjoy this life I've worked so hard to build. They begin walking every morning. They take up new hobbies: gardening, painting, dancing, writing. They learn how to cook healthier. They may not be 20 anymore, but they're alive, deeply alive, in a way that many people never even reach in their youth. They start sleeping better, laughing more, worrying less. Letting go of old patterns isn't always easy, though. They start limiting themselves not because they have to, but because they assume they should. But I want you to hear this clearly. It's not too late. It's never too late to choose yourself. And the truth is, everything we've talked about, movement, connection, self-advocacy, mindful eating, these are all ways of honoring your future self. So if you believe you're declining, you probably will. If you believe you're stuck, you'll stop trying. But if you believe there's still room to grow, still joy to be had, still strength in your body and clarity in your mind, your actions will follow the belief. But I know there's something else we need to address, and it may be the most powerful change of all. It's the shift from being passive about aging. Because too many people after 60 begin to live around their age. I'm old to start exercising now. You've already lived through storms and seasons, through loss and love and laughter. That wisdom is worth honoring. I can't learn something new at this stage. It's normal to feel like this. I should just accept it. Just choose one thing to stop. One thing that's been dragging you down. One quiet decision to start living a little louder again. But those thoughts, they become beliefs, and beliefs become your reality. Let me tell you something. Many people start their best habits in their 60s and 70s. And when they do, they glow. You can see it in their eyes, their posture, the way they move through the world. That's what I want for you. Not perfection, not endless youth, but vitality, presence, pride in how you care for yourself. So yes, we've talked about what to stop doing. But maybe what really matters most is what you start doing instead. Instead of sitting for hours, start moving just a little, just often, Instead of isolating yourself, start reaching out once a week, once a day. Instead of dismissing your health, start listening to it respectfully, seriously. Instead of eating by habit, start eating with intention, with love. And most importantly, instead of living in fear of aging, start aging with purpose. Because aging isn't a decline, it's a deepening. It's a chance to live more honestly, more wisely, more freely. You are not invisible. You are not fragile. You are not done. You are seasoned, capable, still becoming. And the choices you make from here on out, no matter how small, can open doors you didn't know were still waiting for you. A long life isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about filling your life with meaning, connection, movement, joy. That's the path we're on together. One step, one habit, one brave choice at a time. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. And from there, you'll start to feel it, that sense that your body, your spirit, your days, they still have so much more to give. You've come this far. Why stop now? There's a quiet kind of bravery in choosing to keep going, especially when the world seems to expect you to slow down. When the mirror shows more lines than it used to, when your pace is gentler, when people start treating you like you're winding down instead of rising up. It takes strength to look back at them and say, I'm still here. I'm still living. And not just living, but choosing how to live. That meaningful connection isn't about how many friends you have, but how deeply you're willing to connect. That listening to your body is not weakness, it's wisdom. That food is not just comfort or habit, but medicine daily. Delicious medicine. Every day that you're here is a new opportunity to choose something better for yourself. We've spent this time together walking through habits that may seem small on the surface, but carry powerful weight underneath. Picking up the phone to call someone you've been missing, drinking water instead of soda, asking your doctor a question you've been afraid to ask, taking a short walk even when you don't feel like it, replacing the late-night snack with a few almonds or a warm herbal tea. That there are moments ahead of you still waiting to be claimed, walks in the morning light, conversations that bring tears of laughter, meals that nourish more than just your body, small victories in the quiet of your own home. Reconnect with loved ones, learn new skills, and find new purpose well into their later years. Starting today, not because they chase youth, but because they choose vitality. Habits that can quietly take years from your life or give them back. You've seen that staying physically active doesn't require youth, just consistency. Of knowing that you are not just aging, you are living. Most of all, I hope you felt something deeper beneath it all, that your life still matters deeply. You may be 60, 70, even 80 and beyond, but your future is still unfolding. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as standing up when you've been sitting too long. Tell us what changes you're making, or what you've already done that's made a difference. Because your story might be the one someone else needs to hear. Choosing to believe in the value of every day. Choosing to live not just longer, but better. And if you want more videos like this, warm, supportive, practical advice for living your best life after 60, hit that subscribe button. We've got so much more to share. And I'd love for you to be part of the journey. Small things, but powerful ones. And when you start to do them, not out of guilt or pressure, but out of love for yourself, everything changes. You begin to feel the lightness again, not the lightness of youth, but of confidence, of clarity. And if there's something in you that still wonders, is it too late for me? I want you to hear this. It's not. There are people who start exercising at 80 and live to 100. People who heal old wounds, and you can choose the two. You are not defined by your diagnosis, or your losses, or the years that have passed. You are defined by your choices today, by your willingness to say, I want to feel better. I want to be present. I want to keep growing, loving, laughing, moving. And the beautiful part, you don't have to do it alone. There's a community of people just like you right here choosing the same thing, choosing to take care of their bodies and minds. So if this video resonated with you, I hope you'll take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like it. It really helps us reach more people. Most of all, Remember this: you're not alone, you're not invisible, and you are not finished. This stage of life, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, is not the end of the story. It's a new chapter, and you, my friend, are the author. So write something beautiful, wishing you strength, joy, and the richest health possible at every age.